Good to go. Ooh, that's not gonna work, okay. Sorry. Hello, everyone. My name is Quiana Parks, and I am a DJ and a painter, and I do a bunch of things and all that jazz. And you are here for my class, for my Creatively class. I'll be teaching you today about protecting your creativity, something that I learned about maybe 15 years ago, a little bit, and then over the year 2020, I got really in touch with. But before I begin to tell you more about the class, I would love to show you a glimpse of who I am and exactly what I do. So have a video lined up for you guys to check out and see me in action and what I was doing before 2020.
This young lady is a philanthropist. She's an influencer, a visual artist. She's an awesome DJ. Quiana Parks, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. You know, it's crazy because watching that is just a reminder. 2020 was a very interesting year, not just for me, but for millions of people, billions of people all over the world. Let me take a second. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm a little nervous because this is my first time publicly really speaking about last year and reflecting on it, and also speaking about this journey that I've been on about protecting my creative energy. Last year, just like many others, everything came to a halt, especially with the DJs and live performers. There was everything stopped. A career that I worked for 8 years to build, where I slept in Penn Station or Port Authority or at people's houses that I had just met just because I was living in New Jersey, and then I had to work in New York and had to make my way through, just, hustled for 8 years. And all of a sudden, on March 13th, everything came to a serious stop. I had the best weekend of my life the weekend before. Yeah, so this is a photo actually of that weekend. So March 6th until the 8th, I was a headlining DJ, but I was opening up for Lauryn Hill with the Black Girls Rock Festival, something I always dreamed of doing. I was so excited to do it. And then during the same weekend, I got to show my artwork at Scope. Do you know how huge that is? I said I wanted to be an artist and I want to be a DJ. I don't want to give up one. I want to do both. So I worked really hard to do so. And then the weekend of my dreams came. Scope is a huge art show, an art fair that happens a few times a year, but it came to New York. And for the first time, I got to show my work. And then March 13th happened and the world stopped. And I found myself feeling so insecure and so afraid of what I was going to do with myself that I took paintings to a corner in my neighborhood and sold them. Paintings that I used to sell or I would have sold for $5,000 to $10,000. I was on a corner with my sister, with my friend Aziza, at my friend Safira's bar, selling my paintings for $500 because that's how afraid I was that my career in money was non-existent anymore. That I took these paintings on the corner, and even Micheline Thomas herself came and purchased one of my paintings for $500, something that I'll never forget. And then on March 20th, which was my birthday, my partner and I left New York, got a car, and drove down to Virginia and took anything that we could grab. We grabbed the turntables. I grabbed my iPad. I couldn't bring any art supplies. I had nowhere to put them. Not really. So we came down to Virginia, and I learned a lot about myself in Virginia. I'm doing this class today because last year, because it was so difficult, I found myself at many times feeling really down on myself, not sure if my career would continue if I wasn't relevant on social media, not sure if my career would continue because of other people, really. But then within this year, I realized that my career and who I am are kind of two different things. Me as a creative, I was born a creative, just as we all are. If you're creative, it's not something that you choose, it's something who you are. No, there are people who work 9 to 5s and are still creatives. It's not something that you choose. In this class, I'm going to really break it down, the difference between a career and a passion, or a career and a calling for your life. If you're looking to find out about how to build your brand, that's not really what I'm talking about within this class. Again, the class is protecting your creativity. And I figured I'd show you guys a painting that I'm working on right now, just to really, oh yes, sorry. I'm so nervous. See, I I totally forgot. So these are some of the paintings that I created on my iPad when I was down in Virginia. And I'm actually down in Virginia right now. We just came to come visit. But these are a few paintings that I did that I was inspired by with my partner, just with myself. The one on the left that's a painting that was inspired by myself and my partner, because she is also a creative, and we both were just kind of not sure what we were going to do and who we are in this moment. The painting in the middle, I was doing a lot of research on Picasso, and that was actually a remake of a Picasso piece, taking back Black art from Picasso. And then the one on the right was me having mixed feelings about who I was and where I was supposed to be with my life. Because throughout quarantine, it was like, you want to be that person who's like, you have all these entrepreneurs popping up, and I'm doing this and I'm doing I'm doing that. But then you're sitting there like, all I did was watch The Office all day and just sketch on my iPad. But anyways, I digress. But I did this one piece that I'm working on right now that I would absolutely love to share with you guys, because I saw this as a great opportunity to be vulnerable, which I'm not typically in a public space. So if we can go to, oh yeah, this is a piece that I created when all the hype was going on with Breonna Taylor. And I say the hype because I felt, as a human being, I felt it. You know, I didn't need to go on social media to feel it. And also, it wasn't the first time that I felt it. But all last year, I felt myself feeling mixed because there was a bunch of performative activism going on, and people just noticing what me and my community have been going through for years, since I could remember, and before me, obviously, we all know. And this is a piece that I don't even know if I shared publicly at all. I'm pretty sure I did not. But uh, the story of Breonna Taylor definitely meant a lot to me. And that time was extremely difficult because I felt there was like this whole movement, and we all know about this time within 2020 where all of a sudden the world notices how all these Black people are dying, and it's like George Floyd, Breonna, Ahmaud, let's stand up for them. There's been many of us, you know, but at the same time, it's like I'm alive, and because I'm creating something, I have a floodgate of people who are hitting me up because they all of a sudden want to support me and my community. And it just felt extremely weird. And I found myself in a really weird place where it was like, you feel pressured because it's like, am I supposed to be creating certain things because of what's going on right now? Or should I be more so tending to myself? But anyways, we can go from this one. Thank you, Lizzie. So with all that being said, I created this piece here. This piece is, I haven't even named it yet, but it's something that we are going to talk about within this class. There are three people in this painting. There's one, the smaller one, that's number one, and that is your creativity right there. That's your energy that you need to protect. Then the second one that's holding the first one, that's the you that everyone else sees. That's the you that has to protect the you that's inside. I hope you guys are following, because this is why I paint and don't talk much. And then the third piece right there is almost in a way your future, or the you that you see that you are striving to be, the you that you're stretching out to become. And within this class, I really would like to touch on those three forms of yourself. I just want to open up the chat just for a second, just to make sure you guys are here with me and that we are all on the same page. Just do a thumbs up if you guys are following what I am saying. Okay, great. Okay. Yay. Okay. I'm glad. Okay. Well, now we'll begin the class, and I have a very special treat for you guys that is going to that we're going to end the class with. I'm a Pisces, and I think it's part of our tendencies that we can't hold water, but I'm going to try my best not to tell you guys my little secret that I have for you at the end of the class. Again, this class is called Protecting Your Energy. I'm sorry, Protecting Your Creativity. Whew. You can come inside. You guys can stay. During quarantine, I can say the number one thing that I am extremely, extremely grateful for, even through the hard times, was the fact that I really got to understand myself on another level that I would have never had the chance to do before. If you guys saw the video, if you were here for the video, where it was my DJ reel, you saw how crazy my life was. I was never really just sitting down. I was never really taking that time to talk to myself and be in the present. And that is something that I'm thankful for. And I'm curious if you guys really got to take that time to get to know yourself too, because I feel like as creatives, we were really, like I said, and I know I wasn't the only one, where it's like you go on Instagram and everyone is doing something. And you're just like, I don't want to do anything right now, because sometimes you just want to fall into a corner and cry. And that is a time that I really got to look in the mirror and talk to myself and cry, because I noticed at first it was really hard. And I was kind of like mourning the life that I had prior to 2020. I was telling myself, you have to move on, but at the same time, in a corner crying because I did not want to move on. Fuck this quarantine. Fuck all this shit that's going on. This is not fair. And I saw my career crumbling. And part of the way I was able to deal with everything that was going on was with music. And I was privileged to have that opportunity. That's also something that was very difficult for me to deal with, because I had been DJing for 8 years. I met a lot of people, and opportunities were given to me where I was here. I came to Virginia on the 20th, and maybe by the 23rd, I think it might have even been on the 20th, where Beverly Bond, the CEO of Black Girls Rock, called me herself and was like, listen, this is going on. No one, let's play music. Let's just play music, play music, play music. And, I jumped to that opportunity. And then we did it every Friday for months, and it was awesome. But I realized, again, it was a privilege because so many of my DJ friends did not have that same opportunity. So many of my DJ friends would DJ for hours. I wasn't even doing it for money. I was doing it because that was my retreat. That was my way out. And then there were many, many DJs who were doing it to make money and on there for hours and not making a dime. And because they were going on there to make money, it drained them. It made them lose hope in their talent. It made them lose hope in their creativity because of the fact that the intention was different. The intention was to make money. It was for their career, for their branding, so they can stay relevant for other people. And then by doing that, when you're online for 5 hours and somebody cash app you only get $25 in cash app when you're used to making, X, Y, and Z a night, is exhausting and you just want to quit. And that happened a lot during that time. And that also gave me a lot of insight in the fact that my creativity needed to be protected in the idea of that I couldn't have the intention of looking for money or a result. I had to let go of expectations. I had to let go of my past in order to protect it, because I needed to think to myself, what is more important here? I hope I hope you guys are still following me and you're still here with me. If you guys can do a thumbs up really quick again. because I just want to make sure, again, this is like one of my first times really doing this, and I just hope you guys are here with me. Okay, good. See, and another thing quarantine taught me, or last year taught me, was vulnerability, because I was not doing it before. And I'm kind of going off track. Let me see. Another thing I say I learned last year during quarantine, and I keep going back to quarantine because of the fact that quarantine really taught me a lot. Being uncomfortable a lot of times helps you grow. Being uncomfortable is just like working out. In order to gain those muscles, you have to work them, and it's not easy. And again, or I haven't, not again, but I'm telling you right now, everything that I'm saying to you, I'm not saying these things, I'm not going to tell you these things as if they're easy, because it's not. We're in the middle of a pandemic, and being creative is not an easy thing. Holding on and being resilient is not an easy thing. And I'm also say this as someone, and I say blessed, because I'm about to turn 35. And when I was 19 years old, I was diagnosed with cancer. And that was the first time in my life where my life stopped. So although this is my first time going through a pandemic, this is not my first time going through my own personal pandemic. When I was 25, I was suicidal. And not going to go down that road because that's a whole nother thing. But I'm here today. And again, so falling down and getting back up is not something that I'm new to. In those moments, you have to say to yourself, who's going to show up for me if I don't show up for me? If you don't do it for yourself, no one is going to do it. So you have to make an active choice. And here, right on the slide, like I wrote, make an active choice and make the decision to be present, because no one is going to do it if you don't do it. Motivation is something that I heard a lot during quarantine, where people, or even after quarantine, people were asking, like, I don't feel motivated. There's so much going on in the world. We know. But the motivation is not going to come from you laying down in the bed for 15 days in a row and not doing anything and watching The Office. I love The Office. But if you want it, you got to go get it. And we have to learn we have to push ourselves to get what we want. And I don't say that just as, you have to, I don't mean that in money. I don't mean that with anything materialistic when it comes to brands or anything of that nature. I mean, if you want better for yourself, even mentally, you have to get it. It's your job to get out of the bed. It's your job to go up to that canvas if you haven't painted in a month. And if you need to cry, then cry. Feel that shit. But still get up. Muddle through. Don't get stuck. Let's see. I have a question. Oh, sorry. Yes. Let's see. So we went over understanding ourselves, embracing now and adapting. Again, embracing now and adapting, realizing that the past is not going to come back is a huge thing that I also realized that a lot of creatives and myself were holding on tight to, and should not be done. Do not hold on to the past. If you think that 2022 is going to be like 2021, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're lost, because it's not going to come back. Right now, the tower has burned for a lot of us, and you can look at the glass as if it's half full, or you can look at it like it's half empty. But again, it is your choice on what you decide to do. As Jimi Hendrix said, this is your life, or this is my life. I'm going to live my life the way I want to. When I die, I'm the one who's got to die. So I'm gonna live it, no matter what anybody says. And that goes back to your creativity. Do as you please. Don't be that creatives that's just creating just to create, or just creating just so that you can get likes on Instagram, or so that you can get a check really quickly. Right now is a beautiful time where we have more time to get to know ourselves, more time to learn and feel and be vulnerable, because that's a huge thing when it comes to being a creative, and something that I think that we need to embrace a lot more. Understanding that the tower is burned is something that you can sit there and cry about, or you can go to that tower and say, let me clean this up and build something brand new, because I can now. It's not a tower there that I'm just living in. It's a tower that I can build from scratch. Again, I'm hoping that you guys are here with me, because I know I'm going all over. If we can, Lizzie, do you mind if we go back to that, if we can go back to, yeah, there, okay. So I wanted to go back to this piece, because this piece is very important to me. And it was a piece that a painting, or that is actually a sketch, but I'm working on the painting. But it's a painting that I did that came out of me maybe around New Year's, but it really expresses how I felt, and it felt so good to get that out, because I had no other way to say it before. Because inside, my energy would be fearful a lot of times. And I had the choice to let that control me, because that voice inside of me, which is my energy, at times would be fearful and be afraid. And I knew I felt that way inside. I would wake up in the morning sometimes and wonder why are you getting up? Why are you doing this? Why don't you just lay down? Because nobody's calling you. You're not getting any emails. There's no point in doing anything that you're doing. Just stop. Go to monster.com and get a job like everybody else. But I had to, or go to, no, see, monster.com is for the 9 to 5s. But if you want a creative job, yes, this is a plug. Go to creatively.com. Go to creatively and get a creative job. But no, I mean, a lot of time, creative, like creatively.life, yes. But a lot of times, you find yourself where you're just like, should I keep doing this? And should I not pursue this passion that I have? But then you have to be the one to protect that. So that's what that second image is. Yeah, we can go out of this now. Okay. So the last, thank you. The last bits, before I finish this half of the class, is, again, like I said, action leads to motivation. If you want it, you have to go get it, because ain't nobody about to come give it to you. And that is also taking in self-accountability. I've had to do that many times, where I would say to myself, why isn't X, Y, and Z happening? And realizing, bitch, because you didn't make it happen. Excuse my language, by the way. So I'll give you just a quick idea of how I did it for myself. But again, this is my experience. I'm not saying this is your experience. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to scream out, scream out. If you need to run down the street, if you need to drink a little wine every once in a while just to get through what you're getting through, go. Ain't nobody judging. It sure ain't me. But my routine was, especially when I was staying in Virginia, was to wake up in the morning, go for walks, exercise, do my makeup because I felt ugly, maybe inside. And I needed some kind of like reassurance that I still had it, whether people were paying attention to me or not. Um, make a old fashioned. That's what I'm talking about. Because let me tell you something. Crown Royal was all up in this house, all up in it. You gotta do what you gotta do, as long as you're doing it, as long as you're making your way through. Uh, my morning routine, like I said, it was working out a little bit, watching YouTube videos, doing my makeup. My sister, who's very special, uh, taught me breath work, and also she told me about meditation, but because I'm hard-headed, it took a long time to get to. But I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad I listened to her because meditation was a huge help for me, and breath work and paying attention to my breath and paying attention to my body, because I realized also my creative energy changed with what I ate. My creative energy uh, depended on also how I treated my body. Random, but your creative energy and your sexual energy are the same. But but again, let's move on. Okay, so for this next step, we're going to go into boundaries. This next part of the class, protecting yourself, protecting your creativity is not only protecting yourself from other people, it is also protecting yourself from yourself. You are your worst enemy. Stop thinking as other people. Again, accountability, my G. It's you. Half the time, it's you telling yourself you can't do something. Half the time, is you inflicting that fear. It is your job to protect you. How many times have you had somebody say something to you, or open Instagram and saw something? Not even have somebody say, just open Instagram and saw somebody say something, do something that don't got diddly squat to do with you. But for some reason, you take that and make it about you. How many times have you done that or compared yourself to someone else? It's your job to protect you. It's your job to protect the small little you inside you. And if you don't do it, again, I can't say it enough. If you don't do it, nobody's going to do it for you. I think also you learn that, especially in your 20s, because in your 20s, you growing out of becoming this person who was built by their parents, this person whose rules and idea of life was built by their parents. And you come out of this, like, you segue out of like this idea of like, if I work hard, things are going to come my way. No, it's not always like that. And it's really difficult, even in your 30s and throughout life. You keep going through these things. But again, it's your job to protect you, especially from yourself. Because you think about it, if you protect yourself from yourself, how likely is it that you would go on Instagram and that would bother you? Because you would be like, I'm afraid. You ain't afraid. Be quiet. No, 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 no. You see it? No, no, no. Because, anyways. And then again, protecting your energy from other people is very important. Knowing yourself is very important, because then you know what your boundaries are with other people. Knowing yourself will lead you to understand who can and cannot be around you. It is okay to walk away from people. It is okay to walk away from jobs. It is okay to walk away from situations if it doesn't belong to you. The sooner you let it go, the easier life will be. There's this meme of like, it's Jesus. I'm not making this religious, but the meme is of Jesus, and Jesus is holding this this really, really big teddy bear behind his back. And then in front of him, he's holding a smaller teddy bear. And there's a child. No, sorry. He's holding a really big teddy bear behind his back. And then there's a child and she's holding on to this little teddy bear. And Jesus is like, give me the little teddy bear. And the little girl's like, no. And obviously Jesus is going to give her this really big teddy bear, but she's like, I'm not letting go of this little teddy bear because she don't got no faith. And if you think about it, it's like, I'm not saying this in a religious way, but imagine if you were Jesus or if the universe was Jesus, but you so steady on holding on to this little teddy bear. And the little teddy bear can represent the idea that others of yourself that others put into you. The little teddy bear can represent your past or whatever it is that you're holding on to is the little teddy bear. And imagine Jesus was the universe or yourself, and yourself saying to you, I have a bigger creativity. I have more creativity inside of me, but you keep holding on to this little thing. And it's not helping. It's your job to know this stuff. Oh, you guys are still with me. I'm so happy because I know I was supposed to teach this class another way, and then I've definitely 100% absolutely changed it. Thank you for Lizzie not kicking me off, because I don't normally speak like this. I play music, I show art, and that is my way to stay behind the stage. So this is very fun for me. I'm glad we're having this moment.
You're doing great, Quiana. Speak on it.
Thank you, Lizzie. Yeah, so ensuring time for yourself. I feel like I'm saying the same things over. I feel like it's the same thing, but you kind of got to break it down, because protecting yourself from yourself, protecting yourself from others, honoring your time. Their boundaries and time kind of need to coexist, because you have to, how can I say this without drawing it or painting it? Boundaries is something that I'm still working on, especially when it comes to my time. But what is her name? Maxine? Babe, what's her name? Maxine Walters? Oh yeah. Y'all know her name. I know y'all know her name. There it is. There, see, I knew one of y'all knew her name. Maxine Waters, when she says, I'm reclaiming my time as a creative, it's extremely important that you do not give your time to things that are not for you. If your friends want to call you all day to chitty chat, because right now we're going through quarantine or we're going through this and X, Y, and Z, and hey, no, we can't talk. We can't listen. No, we're not about to be chatting on the phone. I need to get to what I need to get to. Solitude is important. And it doesn't mean that I don't love you. It just means for this half of the day, I need to love you from a distance, because I need to spend time with myself. Because next year, it might be completely different, where we're outside and ripping and running and all this stuff. And because let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. When we can go back outside, I'm about to be wilder, because I want to be traveling all over the world. I'm not going to be stuck in my studio 24/7. My studio is coming with me. I don't know. if y'all hear me, but put a little ear if you feel me in what I'm saying to you, because I ain't trying to be here. That's just me. But right now is the time that I'm blessed because I'm still here. I'm blessed because I wake up every morning and I'm going to live like that. So I think to myself, should I sit here and talk on the phone, or should I sit here and watch a show that I'm probably going to forget in the next 2 years? Or should I honor my creativity that I've been blessed with and tend to that? When I wake up in the morning, I'm about to get my iPad. I'm about to draw this dream I had last night. That actually, funny thing is that happened to me this morning. It's very funny because I was dreaming that I was working. Anyways, let's see. Is it time to bring on my surprise?
Yeah, let's do it.
It is, right? Yes, because I think I've done enough talking, but I hope you guys follow, because as my mom, my sister, my partner, the few people in my life know, I have a tendency of chit-chatting. So my grand surprise today is my sister. My sister taught me about breath work, which brings me to my present. My sister taught me about meditation. My sister was there for me when I was down. When I was going through my big depression, my sister she stood at the foot of my bed and said, "You need to be a big sister because right now you're not." And I'm extremely thankful for her, because when I want to give up on everything that I've worked so hard to become, my sister and her words and her energy have brought me along. So anyways, here's my sister. Her name is Kira Parks, and she is the founder and CEO of Cinta Soul. And she can tell you a lot more about it than I can. So I'm just going to let her tell you in her own words. But today she will be doing breath work with you guys. Yay! And so you guys can have the experience that I have had with her many times. So Kira, I love you so much, my little scoop boo.
Peace, everybody. Peace. That you did really great, Quiana. So kudos to you. I'm a little nervous now too. Now you got me on here, but peace, everybody. Thank you for joining and listening to my sister with her great words tonight. I appreciate it as being her sister. But just to talk a little bit about my journey and how I started, I guess, with breath work and just energy work and self-care, my journey, which all falls into protecting your energy, protecting your space. I started maybe around 2014 with my journey back to myself, like really learning who I am from the inside out. I started doing Qigong, which is a mind, body, spirit class, which is solely focused on breath work and martial arts. But once I started, that was really interesting. That's when I really felt like for the first time, I was introduced to myself and to my breath by doing breath work. And I know this sounds weird, but once you start learning breath work exercises and learning to work with your breath, and you're breathing and you're expanding fully through the body, you're literally starting to feel the different organs in your body. You're feeling the bones in your body. So when I say introduced to myself for the first time, this was the first time where I was consciously aware of the things that are going on constantly throughout the day through my body, with focusing on my breath. And through breath work also, I learned how to control my energy, which is most important. We can't control the things around us. We can't change the things around us. The only thing that we can control is our response to life and how we deal with things from the inside of our home, which is our physical bodies here. And breathwork has really helped me, especially during this pandemic, even sharing these opportunities with people. Sorry about that. Not sure what happened. But yeah, so breathwork has been a great practice for me, and I'm very happy to share with it. So if you guys are following along, I want to share a exercise with you that I love. It is the foundation of all breathwork exercises. It's yogi breathing, so it's a 3-part breath where I'm just going to show you how to expand your breath from your lower parts, your middle parts to the upper parts of your breathing process. So when you're breathing, you're learning how to breathe fully. And once you learn how to breathe fully, I mean, life is limitless from there. Without breath, you have no life. So obviously, if you're being more intentional and bringing more awareness to your breath and filling your body with more breath, that is ultimately going to bring you more options in life. It's going to bring you more peace in your life, bring you health in your life, bring you stability and things of that nature. So I'm going to stop rambling on now and we can start. So if you guys can sit seated, or just in a comfortable position, but most importantly, it's great if your back is sitting up straight. Okay, I can't see anybody. So if your backs are sitting up straight, that's cool. You can put your hands on your knees if you'd like. But with this breathing, so how we're going to start is pretty much we'll start with our belly areas. And I literally will just start with breathing and putting our intentions to the breath. So when I say breathe into the belly area, we're literally going to take the navel from where it is in a comfortable position and you inflate your belly almost like a balloon. The next exercise after that would be bringing breath into your rib cage area. So you would be inhaling into the belly and then you expand it into your rib cage area. So you should literally feel your rib cages like expanding, and then we'll do the chest area. So we do 5 breaths to the belly, 5 breaths through the rib, and 5 breaths through the chest area. I like to literally just hold my belly. It helps me with breathing so I can see how far my belly is expanding. Then when I get to my chest, I do the same thing. I kind of just like let my chest open up. So we can start now. We can all do 1 breath together. So we'll just do 1 full inhale together if you're seated in a comfortable position. So we'll inhale. And we'll exhale. And 1 more time, we'll take 1 full inhale. And we'll exhale. Okay, so now I want you to bring the awareness to your belly area and we'll do 5 breaths here. So literally, you're not going to be releasing the breath. You'll just be, as I'm counting, you're going to be inhaling up until 5, okay? So let's breathe 1 more time together. And we exhale together. Now we'll breathe into the belly. We'll breathe 5 breaths here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Now we're going to extend that breath. We'll do it up to 7, and you're going to extend it into the rib cage area. So once we get to 4, then you're going to inhale and make sure you're expanding into your rib cage area. Okay, so let's begin that. Let's inhale together fully first. And exhale fully. And begin the breath to the belly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Expand to the rib cage. 1, 2, 3, and exhale. Now we'll do this 1 more time. We'll add the chest area. We'll do it up to 10. So we'll do 15. We'll do 5, 5, 5, and then we'll close with there. So let's inhale fully together first. And exhale. You can bring your awareness to your belly. Inhale, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Expand into the rib cage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Expand into your chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale. Okay, so that is a full circle of yogi breathing. It is highly suggested that you do this every day. I mean, you can go up to as many breaths as you feel. There's no cap on it. I think it's really good to start your day with yogi breathing, just to get your day started, to get your mind right, your thoughts on track. This is really helpful with, like I said, bringing you back into your home, welcoming you into your body, into your home space, into your own safe space, essentially. So yeah, that's breath work. And back to you, Quiana. Thank you.
How awesome is my baby sister? Thank you, Kira. Love you very much. So happy that you were able to do this with me. And that was my big surprise for you guys. So there it is. Okay, so let's
Ready for
open up.
questions?
Yeah, I'm ready for the questions.
Okay. Let's see where we should start. Okay, we'll start with a question from Madeline. She asked, and this is a question for either you, Quiana, or for Kiara, but what's a great way to establish a healthy routine when you're feeling mentally exhausted?
See, that's the thing, is because I allow myself to be mentally. If I'm mentally exhausted, I honor myself. And I think we need to honor ourselves in those moments. I'm a kind of person, I've never wanted to work hard. I like to work smart. And in that meaning, when I do feel exhausted, I take time for myself. I take a bath. I take whatever it is that you need to do to calm yourself, whether it's listening to music, taking a bath, chatting with friends, or if you want to do a Zoom call with friends. I definitely would recommend those things when you are mentally exhausted. And for me, solitude is a huge thing. I love to stay in bed and watch The Office for a day. But the thing is, when you do take that time, you also, again, need to be that person that says, okay, I gave myself, yeah, exactly, the marijuana. But after a moment or two, get your ass up out of the bed and get back to being the best part of you that you can be. There is no actual routine for me. That's just sleep is a great thing. I don't do that very often. I'm one of those people that sleep 4 to 6 hours, but not that often, but yes. I can't really answer that question because especially with everything that's going on this year, it's hard to stick to a routine. I'm just more so honor myself and listen to myself, and when it's time to get up, when it's time not to get up.
That's great. Yeah. Another question we have is from Lindsay, and she asked, where do you get your creative inspiration from?
YouTube. So now that we can't leave the house, I don't know. I mean, let me see. I wrote down something for that actually. And I deleted it. Anyways, creative inspiration for me, honestly, it comes from looking at other art, whether it's looking at it or hearing it or feeling it, because looking at other art, it's not necessarily like it's inspiring me where I'm going to go copy it. It's more so a wake-up call for me to pay more attention to my present, where I find different meanings and metaphors in things that are around me. So I guess the people that are around me also definitely add to that inspiration.
Great. Another question we have is, how do you reclaim your energy from people without pushing them away?
Honesty, communication. You tell them, listen, this isn't working for me. To me, I learned this in my 20s sometime, where you learn to love people from a distance, but also you understand that whoever is meant to be in your life is meant to be in your life. And with that, if someone doesn't understand the fact that I can't talk to you on the phone all day, or I need a moment, if I say to someone, I need a moment so I can gather myself, and that moment may last for however long it lasts, and they don't understand, the way I see it is, this person just isn't possibly just not meant to be in my life, because I'm being honest with you. It's not you. It truly is me. I'm not telling you I don't love you. I'm not telling you I don't want to be friends, but we just need space so that I can do what I have to do. And if you're meant to be in my life, if you truly understand and love who I am and love me, then you will also honor and respect that.
Amazing. Thank you, Quiana. We have another question. This is from Ayla. Apologies if I mispronounced that. But her question is, first of all, she wanted to say thanks for your energy today and being vulnerable. And she asked, how are you planning for 2022? Because I feel like from what you mentioned, it sounds like you're working on things to get ready for when life becomes normal again. So what things do you have coming up?
I don't. I'm just working on my craft. I'm just working on my creativity. That's really it, to be honest with you. Like I said, I don't plan on being here, but it's not like I'm working on a big project or anything in particular. I'm one of those people that believe if something belongs to me, it belongs to me. So I don't plan too much for the future, because I've learned that that kind of constricts me. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't really have any, other than traveling. I just want to be out and traveling. I want to I feel like I didn't take advantage of traveling as much as I should have. So I will be doing that.
This next question is from Sophia, and she asked, who are some artists currently or historically that inspire you?
I have a hate-love relationship with Picasso, because of the amount of Black art that he stole. And that was a big thing during quarantine, trying to research a lot of that. But definitely Basquiat. I'm kind of a basic bitch when it comes to that world, I guess. But also Kerry James Marshall, Charles White, Reginald Sylvester. Honestly, it's a lot of Megan Kincaid. It's a lot of different artists that definitely I look up to and inspired to be like, I guess.
Okay, we have a couple more questions. We'll do two more. Nicole asks, if through this presentation, are you saying that you essentially took your art and energy back for yourself during this time? And did you find that by being quarantined, it brought to light the people that were and were not healthy for you and your art?
Are you a Pisces girl? Because I think you get me. Yes, that's exactly what I was saying. That's exactly what I was saying. Another thing that I failed to mention was the fact that before quarantine, I was signed to this management group that had me DJing all over, and it was great, but it wasn't great because I didn't really get to flex when it came to my creativity. I definitely put my creativity in a box for the check. And quarantine taught me to trust in my own creativity, because when I started to focus on the strength and who I was in my creativity and truly believe in myself and push myself to become the best part of me, not for anyone else but myself, opportunities, they came my way. And I was, for the first time, in a position where I was truly being myself with when it came to my creativity and my art, and had the chance to say yes or no without feeling bad for saying no, because is exposure or the check was good. If it wasn't true to me, it wasn't true to me. And I'm extremely thankful for this time to have learned that about myself. And I definitely gained faith within myself and my talent.
Thank you. Okay. We have 2 more questions. The next one is from Magita, and she asked, how do you keep your style and your skills going from painting by hand to painting and drawing on iPad? I find it so hard to keep my skills and style if I do a digital job.
The one thing I like about the iPad is because of the fact that it reminds me so much of like painting a huge painting. But I get that, because that it is difficult, because again, during quarantine, I didn't have access to a studio. Wasn't able to just paint whenever I wanted to and however I wanted to. So it was something that I had to adapt to and learn about. But it's not an easy balance. You just got to do it. You just got to keep practicing, just like with any new medium. You have to keep practicing until you get better at it.
All right. The last question is, do you journal or find journaling helpful? If so, do you follow prompts or write or free write?
Journaling is extremely important. I often think of myself like, if I'm going to be the next Basquiat, I want to have some thing to leave behind that tells my story. But also, more importantly, journaling is important because it helps me remember what I've gone through during my downtimes. During my downtimes in the past, when they happen again, when they reoccur. So I definitely recommend journaling. And yes, freeform is something that I definitely do, because it helps me to be vulnerable and open with myself, especially when I sit there with a pen and paper and force myself to write and let down my feelings, even when the sentence may not make sense. It eventually comes together.
All right, Quiana. Thank you so much for joining us on this Creatively class and leading how to protect your creativity. Do you want to do a little closing remark?
I guess. Yes, once again, my name is DJ Quiana Parks, straight out of Brooklyn, New York. What's up? No, I just want to really thank you guys for being here with me and allowing me to be vulnerable. I know these classes typically go an entirely different way, but I needed to honor myself and who I am and what I do. So that's the way I did it. And I hope you guys had a great time. Please remember, as you go home or as you leave the chat, to honor yourself when it comes to boundaries, honor yourself when it comes to being accountable. If you have to be mean to yourself, it's not really being mean, it's tough love. Get up. You got it. You were born with this skill. Nobody gave it to you. Instagram is a scam. These corporations will tell you whether your artwork is good or it's bad. Don't listen to them. You know the answer. You were born this person. If all this stuff melted away, you would still be the same person. So love on yourselves. Love you guys. Peace out.